Hello, listeners. My name is Nnaemeka, and welcome to another episode of the RovingHeights Podcast. So, this is a bonus episode actually, because this book, Vantage, has been flying off our shelves, and it got me interested in the book. I know it's about one of the most influential angel investors in the Nigerian tech space, or really in the African tech space. So, I invited one of our readers, who is a very important journalist and who has also read the book. I asked him a couple of questions around what the book is about, what kind of lessons do we expect to gain from the book, who should read the book, who is the book for, and he answered all of this with very, very important examples. And I think you should listen and decide if this book is for you. So yeah, listen and enjoy. So I'm going to invite our guest today to introduce himself. Hello, Dami. Can you tell us a little about yourself?
Yeah, hello. Hello. Thank you for having me. My name is Damilare Dosunmu. I am a journalist. I'm a tech reporter. I currently work as the African reporter at the rest of the world, a New York-based publication that covers the impact of technology outside of the Western bubble. So that means we cover stories outside of Africa, Latin America, Southern Asia, and a piece of Europe as well. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that. That's actually very interesting. So, was that what sparked your interest in this book, Vantage? Was it because it's something that falls within the purview of your work?
Yeah, exactly. I would say yes, because it is absolutely yes. So Olumide Soyombo is one of the most prominent, I think most prominent is the word, most prominent tech investors in Africa, especially in Nigeria, where he has invested over 20 startups, even more than some people would say over 40. I think Olumide would say over 40. Uh, uh, there was a saying that invested almost, you write checks or you wrote check like almost every week for startups in 2020. Yeah, so the strategy is giving the copy of my coverage of my beats, and this is one of the I believe seal people in the ecosystem that people look up to, decided to actually document their experience and their journey for others to teach. And so yeah, it's very powerful.
Thank you very much for that. The book has been flying off our shelves, so I thought it would be interesting to talk with someone that has read the book. I've not read it, and I'm sure a lot of people have also not read it. So in this episode, we're going to get a lot of insight into the book from you, because I think that would be like a very good place to start. So personally, I go into memoirs from time to time. They are not something I'm particular about, but it's always refreshing to read about people's journey. Did this book capture Olumide's beginnings? How in depth did it go?
So I think because from the beginning of the book, only they advise people not to buy the book because they want to learn how to invest or they want to learn how to start or to be a start, right? He sort of like warned us that that's where it's fun if you are looking to learn, like just learn from this book or learn something like practice from this book, which I believe is actually sarcasm because the book is packed with a lot of learning, right?
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's packed with a lot of learnings and a lot of not just learning, deep learnings that, and I mean, when I started with this book, that's caveat, that's advice that don't read this book if you want to learn something. Sort of like is the tension for me because occupational hazard want to make something to learn from, or as a journalist you want to sometimes you go to critique something, right? And Somebody telling you that, hey, don't come here, you are not going to see what you're looking for. You just be like, okay, I'm just going to read this book. Very into it, you know it's a big deal. So Olumide did a very incredible job showing us, not telling us, actually showing us how we grow. And from the title of the book, the book is real. It's so real because the book is Vantage. It's just only really letting us know that, yeah, I started from zero, but that zero is not 0.0. And it's not, or like on the scale, you have 0 to 100, right? Already started from somewhere, but that's is not 0, right? And it means that everybody that is starting from 0 is not necessarily starting from 0 or are not necessarily starting from 0. So that is only the book captures how it's going to make, right? And the early days of his mother, his siblings are the build up in how he was born, how he moved to Ibadan for school, and how the girls relocated from Benin to Lagos. His father's business, certainly just tell us that he experienced how well to do, they are well-being in the family, and that sort of created not just opportunity to have the best of me. He told us that he was driving a Mercedes-Benz 230 in 200 level, right? And you would think that is just becoming a mainstay now, right? Because most people are working in uni, and also a lot of this is actually contributed to student driving. I will not mention, but wasn't common then, right? And how he was like the first student. He was part of the first set of students in Unilag, in the Department of System Engineering, right? And how his travel, his exploits, his work experience, this is his work. How he made money, and how his father is one of the biggest advantage, right, for him. When he was starting his business, his father's seeding with 5 million naira, which is about $40,000 at the time. So he was quite open. He was quite honest. The book was actually a book. It was an open book, right? And it's quite. I think it's very, very interesting that Olumide, because you'll be wondering, how is somebody investing every week? How much exactly does this person have, right? And how much money?
This
book answers that question that Olumide is rich. He has always been rich, and he's still rich. So it captures his, and also one of the other very interesting thing about the book is how the picture was like. The picture is very, very vivid, right? It paints the picture of his childhood, especially going to boarding house, right? As someone who actually went to boarding school, everything they said in the book is it's quite relatable. From getting bullied to becoming a bully, even though he didn't say he was a bully, he was bullied, and he also had the experience of serving punishments, and also all form of punishment that he served in boarding house, which is actually very painfully still existing till today. It's he led us through his early years, and also just segue into who he is at the moment and what he's currently doing. So very cool.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Now that I've been wanting to get it, well, I am more interested in getting it now. So I think for the benefits of our listeners, maybe you can mention 2 startups that Olumide invested in so that they get a concept of who we are talking about. before we continue.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was okay. So you asked the two, so I'll mention two. I mean, you asked how I would mention both, but two is very important. I'll just mention the two most important. One of the two most important businesses in Nigeria. Olumide is one of the early. So, for a start, I mean, example is PiggyVest. Olumide was not just an investor. Or he's not just an investor in PiggyVest in their early days. He was very instrumental to their growth. The PiggyVest co-founders and top executives have said they always say this at every opportunity that they get to talk about Olumide, that he was quite instrumental. Besides giving them check, built with them, give them an office space, everything you need, you would need to start off a business with Olumide provided for them. Olumide was one of the early people that actually made PiggyVest a success story. And I think that's according to the book, it's evidence of how much help Olumide also got when he was passing up, right? From his father and his father's friend, right? The caliber of people.
So it was a way of like repeating the process or giving back, let's say.
Exactly. That was what it was. That is exactly the word, the phrase used in the book, which is giving back. The same way you were giving, or even more, right? Even better, right? PiggyVest and also Paystack. So PiggyVest and Paystack.
That's interesting. So in the book here, so I like to imagine that a lot of Nigerian startups are like, in the financial aspect of things. We have a lot of like fintechs, and as an angel investor, I imagine that a lot of people are coming to him with similar ideas. Did he share the process of selecting companies he invests in?
Yeah, so of course he discussed that very extensively. And not just discussing that. He told us, I mean, like even advise people based on what he's looking forward to and based on what to do when you're starting out, right? But before I get to that, I would like to also like mention a few more startups that would be like invested in, because I think it is very important. This side, we like to just mention success stories, right? Like the early stories. I think it's very instrumental to mention some other stories, some other businesses, because we don't want to paint only the as the all and highs, right? There can also be some investments like Beju, Telegra, and also invested in team apps. And really, lots of apps that's branded as Honeypot, you know that they are giants, right? They are giants.
Yes.
We also invested in Uno as well, Street Africa. It's I don't really know Streets. Streets they involve. They help people to I think to rent houses. They manage, like, I think they are like an estate management startup where they allow people to pay small for their rent. So you can rent the house, you can pay small. There's also Lemonade, there's also Lemfire, and all of that. Yeah.
That's interesting. I also know that I saw somewhere, I think it was last month, there was a bit of a war between Moniepoint and OP. I don't even know if that's what mentioned it, but I know there's a bit of a struggle on dominance between the two companies. I just think that's really interesting.
Yeah. So those are like the two. They are two of the top fintech at the moment. They're actually getting the right stuff done, right? And we are seeing like results for the apples. Yeah. So Honeypoint and OP and Pompey And so it's quite interesting to see that these guys are like people like Olumide are like the middle of the entire stuff, right? When you see something, you see them, you don't stand in the middle of it, and you be like, oh, yeah, this person actually has to say. And yeah, that's what he said. Like, the book is because he actually has something to say, and he hoped that they're able to people out from. Even though he told us that we should not read the book to rank. Yeah. I would just go. I'll just go right into your question of how how he looked into or how he accessed investment opportunities and things to look out for, right? So
Yeah.
So the book essentially is just because it's a story, right? The book just is a combination of different stories of his life, and the way he discussed that is by bringing in his own personal stories and how that has influenced him. I mean, how he look at this, right? And he said co-founding a startup is like getting married, right? So he's going to invest in a startup. Then they have to have some values that himself and his co-founders. I mean, some sort, maybe not all, right? Because we are not built the same way. Like there's some tangible that we must have as a co-founder, right? There should be trust, trust is very important. And Olumide mentioned that even though his co-founder, so his father invested in his business, which is blue chips technology. His father invested the first check for them. I think the only check because he got 50% of the company while signing that check, right? So 25% of the company went to his co-founder and 15% went to him, according to that book. So, but when it was time for profit sharing, the co-founder, which is Kaz, the name is Kaz. I think I can't remember the last name, but his name is Kaz. So Kaz Kaz decided to share the profit equally, even though he has more share in the company than me, right? So he valued contribution, even though Kaz was the technical guy, and he was doing the business side of things, right? They played to their each other's strength, and Kaz decided to share the profits equally, right? And that sort of built trust, gave Olumide more sense of ownership. And these are things that he also looked into, investing businesses and trust direction. Do you trust each other? Are you people building to your strength? So yeah, be clear about money, right? You have to be clear about the money. What is who is getting what, who is getting who, and all of that. So that money don't become the end of the partnership, right? So you have to be clear about money from the beginning. You have to define the roles each other is these are the lessons that we be sharing. I'm saying them, just mentioning the headlines of each lessons. Even though I'm not going to explain that into the book, you guys would have to read. We have to go to hear line for line.
Yes. Yes.
How do you need to have a leader or mentor you both trust, right? So you are co-founded, right? And you trust Mr. He, your co-founder trust needs to be, there's likely going to be a trouble. Mr. A and Mr. B are not giving the same advice, right? And maybe they are giving contradicting advice. So the best way to actually survive, sustain a relationship is to have mentor or leader that you both trust, so that when they give advice, you guys will easily be on the same page and not be on each other's neck. And that's sort of worked for Olumide and his co-founders through Olumide's father, who did not just trust them, or who did not only trust them, but actually work with them, give them the money, and also help them get their clients, because according to the book again, this is why I said Olumide was it's quite open in this book. He admitted that his father, his father was very, very used to river in their ages by helping them to acquire customers, network, introducing them to network, big banks, director that's where friends with his dad. It was quite easy to open that door. It was quite easy to set up that meeting because of that network. So that is his advantage. That is his advantage in the early days, right? And that is what he also claims to be doing for his portfolio company, right? Helping them to open that door, introducing them to the next investor, introducing them to the next business partner, and all of these things. That is what he's also doing. And not just putting the money into the business, but also helping them to build the whole business entirely. So we also have.
Yeah, so this thing you said now got me thinking. I think I have two questions from that. Okay, not exactly question anyway. But the first one being that I like that this book was honest about this, because there's that notion that you just have to work hard and then you become successful. But from what I'm telling us now, sorry, take that again.
Aspire to acquire, to acquire to require.
Yes. But from now we're seeing that there's actually a lot of things at play. You need connections. Like, I love that he's honest, or he was honest about all of these things, because that's as real as it can get. You need someone inside to open the door.
Exactly. So the book is so real. Like, this is not just a book that someone is just telling you that I did this, I invested in this, and I bought this. This is telling you that I got a break because there's someone that is speaking for me in the room. I got my first job because I know somebody who's friend with the CEO and knew what I studied and introduced me to the CEO. And while working with that first company, I met the person who's like, I started a company with my boss, who I was working with, who was more experienced, who was over 8 years older than me. Access. Mm-hmm. I have access, have money, I have network, I have access to all of these things, access to the basic and the advanced resources you need to actually build successful business. So he was very, very open to having access to all of these things and how they contributed to his success today. Right? So it's not just the original and where super aspire. It is actually that that will let you know that, again, you want to build something, but who's speaking for you? Do you have a contingency plan? Is everything fail? Even though, can you work? I mean, in the book, for example, there was a time he was trying to seal a $4 million deal. That was the biggest deal they had at the time when they started their company. So they were trying to seal that business deal, right? To close the deal. But I think it was the Oracle, right? But because they hadn't done anything at that age before, they had problems with settling in banks. So banks was running around them, running rings around them. There's no way they were on deadline to seal this deal, to deal with banks so that the money can come in, so that they continue to just progress. But they had issues with the bank, right? So he went to his dad. He discussed with his dad, and his dad found a solution by helping to put in some money from their own offshore accounts. Waiting the grant for that actual money to come to. So it's just how much easy it is for, maybe easy is not the word, but how accessible and how it is,
how it works, how it really works.
Yeah, how it really works for people, for successful people of high income network. So it's essentially that. So thanks for reading it again, for being honest in the book. I would say it. I've not started tweeting about this book, which I'm just making notes, jotting things down of the really important things that I find reflecting in the book. And yeah, I'll start just talking about that stuff. Yeah.
Well, okay. I think there's another book that I read that is a bit similar to this. In the early 2010s, there was like this whole, I want to say, worship towards Mark, Jeff Bezos, and the rest of them. And then this book, The Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, he talks about these people that started these companies and how their parents played like a very important role in a lot of things, how their parents invested and a lot of all those things. So I just love that Olumide is also equally honest about how things are really done. And not just that, he's also giving back. He entered the door and he's opening the door for a lot of people. He's opening the door for a lot of companies, and those companies are getting in and they're opening the doors for other people as well. So yeah.
Yeah. So again, I think I have to like say something about the about how he became an angel investor, right?
Yes,
So
please.
the point of becoming an angel investor was not to give back. That was not the initial plan, right? The initial plan, the initial plan. That's why I said the book was quite honest, right? Or it's quite honest. The book is honest, and everything is words are like being honest, and I give that to it. So the reason why, the main purpose of starting to invest in tech was because they wanted to extend their revenue goals, right? They at that point, I think at that point, they were making somewhere around $10 million per year, but the bulk of their revenue was coming from between 3 to 4 clients, right? So there's a risk factor there that if they were to lose one or two of those clients, their revenue is going to drop, right? So they needed to extend their revenue, right? To be able to start making money from other sources, right? But again, the business clientele, their clients needs, because what they are doing is quite like very rich, which is like data warehousing and business intelligence, right? So you have to have big clients, and they are not the only one in the market. But they get to win because they are fairly affordable compared to other big players. I mean, you mentioned that in how they got a job with MTN Zambia, right? They got a job with MTN Zambia because they were fairly affordable compared to, MTN wanted to build a data warehouse in Zambia, but they didn't want to spend too much money. And every other solution they had in the market was quite expensive. So they reached out to them and they helped them build it. It's not like they did not make more money. They had raised money that's whatever we big at that point was sufficient enough and was big enough. I mean, they were making, according to the book, they were making up to $10 million a year. So if they were to lose one or two or three of their clients, they are likely going to, the business is going to be in trouble, right? Maybe not in trouble, but the health of the business will be at risk, right? So they needed to, really, I wouldn't say,
they had to expand.
Yeah, that was why they decided to invest in technology, setting aside $500,000 for that, and with the intention of investing into it $5,000 to $40,000 in startups, right? And that worked for them. I mean, I'm sure they made some really terrible bets. That's venture investment. You invest in some, you lose some, right?
Yeah.
What mentioned in the book, I will talk about that so that we don't give out a lot of detail. People would have to read that.
Yeah.
Right. So that was why they decided to start investing in tech. And why Olumide was like the face, and he's still the face of most of their investments. That investment was still carried out by him and his co-founder, which is Gas. I mean, they started a particular investment vehicle called Intuit Power, right? According to the book, it's investment. So again, when they started that investment, it was quite easy to also group funds, right? Not easy, but again, I don't want to start using the word easy because it's never easy to do.
It's never easy, yeah.
never easy to build. But again, Vantage, they just came it to their advantage, and compared to other people, being able to pull it out, right? So when they were starting, they sent an email to his dad friend, and some other like British Indian on that some of their contacts. So that person offered to give them a land, a big chunk of land in Kenya to build like a venture and incubation center at the first email, and also offered them $1 million to add to their $500,000. And even after some, some initial brother, he still collected the money. So yeah, so it's just like it's a good thing to read that people actually have advantage and they're open to talk about it. In a country where most people just want to crucify you because your father is rich, right? Or
yes, it's the rate.
You got means right. So so the intention was not to give back. The intention was to stay afloat, to stay ahead of the call, right? But now it's just obvious that they weren't just investing, right? They weren't just keen into make more money, right? That was the first intention: stay afloat, make more money, make sure the business is all big. But getting into it, you realize that there's more on to be done, and they have to actually roll their sleeve, get into the trenches with found out they're investing, and look at them today. Yeah.
Wow. So thank you very much for that. This has been very interesting. I want to ask who this book is for, but for everything you are telling me, I can say the book is for everybody, because you mentioned lessons earlier, and I had a question about that. The lessons that you are picking up from this book, are they applicable to your personal life, outside the scope of tech and money? Like, are there like practical lessons that can help you build yourself in whatever field you are doing or whatever field you are focused on?
Yeah. So there are practical lessons, even though they are creatively written, so that it will bore you out. But again, for people who have the book, I would advise that they should read. There's a chapter, or there are a couple chapters that I would advise people to go read. If you want to laugh, you want to have a good laugh, the book one is really good, because the book one, I think it's for everybody, because it's like the early things of Olumide Soyombo, growing up, the becoming of Olumide Soyombo, which is like actually a lot of fun stories. Especially when he was trying to get away from trouble, or to every world, secondary school, faking sickness, deeping and all of that. So, but to actually learn about business, right? Book 2 and book 3 is really, really important if you want to really learn about business. And building in Africa, there are chapters, there are the content, the table of content, sort of like just categorize most of these things. Like you have the time to know what you're getting when you get to each page. And that's sort of like just give that book, make it easy to read, and you don't have to just read through. You can go to the chapter and just look at what you want to learn and just go right into that page. But again, I think this book is for everybody. Even though only there is, it belongs to us tech people. I will claim it. It belongs to all tech people. But this book belongs to everybody. Belongs to everybody who wants to be the best, and belongs to everybody who just wants to be better and to learn how people actually make it in life. To also people who are looking for honesty and not looking for advice to perspire.
Yeah. That's really what I'm telling you.
Yeah, this book will tell you that, hey, who is talking about you when you are not there? Who is opening the door for you? Who's holding the door for you? Not just opening the door, but opening the door for you to actually get into the room, right? Lock you behind you and give you the key, right? Give you the key so that you can use the key to open the next one, the next one, the next one, and always cycle back to them. And that's probably the spot that I heard. And it sounds like a very, very graceful child or a graceful son. And he make sure that it's by that picture in almost all the story, almost all the lines. Because again, I think he really himself cannot quantify the amount of influence the father sort of like he has a he's a bad parent.
Yeah.
I think it's for everybody. Yeah.
All right.
And again,
Thank you very much.
But about the bad investment and bad eggs versus the ID founders. I think page 181 for people who have a book and for people who want to, if that is your intention of buying the book, I mean, there's something for everybody. Just go to page 181, the bad egg versus the ID founder. You learn one or two things about the multiverses of building.
Well, I'm actually interested in that part. When my copy arrives, I will obviously read everything here, and I'll text you about my experience reading it.
But I want you to read the entire book. Please don't skip one.
Yes, I will read the entire book.
It's just sweet. It's sweet. Kudos to everybody that welcome.
Okay, thank you very much. For our listeners, I am going to add a link to the book in the description of this episode. So you just click on the link in the description and get yourself a copy. The book is 10,000 naira and we deliver everywhere in Nigeria and everywhere around the world. So thank you guys for listening. Thank you, Damilare, for doing this.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me. I will appreciate it.
All right. Bye.
Bye.